two new irons from Ping in the Blueprint world. So this is Blueprint T and Blueprint S. So like real tour player, and then that kind of crossover can be blended. We'll talk about the price, who would game these clubs, what do they look like, do they perform any good? It's a Ping, of course they do. Let's give them the full review. So the initial looks of these two irons is amazing, especially in the T. Like the T is just so pretty, good looking, amazing finish to it in that kind of, off chromed finish. The Hydro Pearl, I'm sure they've gone it will do the tech as we go. And just the shaping, like it's stunning, where the Blueprint S is much more like what's gone before. It's interesting, I think, that they've kind of blended the Blueprint brand into two very combinable irons, if you know what I mean, where normally this one is it's a completely different brand in the brand. Looks certainly in the T, wow. No different down by the ball, both look fantastic. The T again is more slender on the top, where the S is more just like the eyes that have gone before, not that it was in Blueprint, where the T is like bladey, beautiful, stunning, maybe one of the best looking irons out there. And what I love about Ping, their blade length is squat, it's not really long, and that just looks beautiful when you are after this kind of iron. Oh, that's the T. Oh my word. What a sound. That's gorgeous. So, solid feeling, tour-like feeling, soft-like feeling, forged-like feeling. Like, that's just delicious. Like everything you would expect from a club that looks as good as that. So how does that compare in feeling then to the S? Definitely noticeable in appearance down by the ball. Oh yeah. Like there isn't much difference in those two for feeling, for sound, for how solid it feels. T maybe a little softer, forgey feeling, but hopefully, as we've learned over the years, kind of what forged means anymore is verging on debatable, but I mean, they both feel great. They look great. I mean, the T does feel that bit more, let's say, tour, I guess, for T. Looks and feels that wins all day long. Gameability, obviously, we'll get into that may be a little bit more in the S. I think what Ping are doing, though, is by bringing them into the same brand makes a lot of sense to me, because you could totally blend these up. T, wowzers, guys. So both irons feature the Hydro Pearl 2.0 chrome finish, which you can see, and it's going to keep that spin a bit more consistent across different lies. Something Ping have talked about for a while. Fully forged 8620 carbon steel head in both irons. So it's a compact muscle back in the T, but it's a precision pocket in the 3 to 5 irons is what they're saying in the S. So a little bit more of that kind of away from the bladed, all kind of behind the hitting area, moving a little bit more into a pocket design when you go into the S. The T and the S have the same blended, they're saying it's the same blended lofts as T, so you can cross these over and also blend them with I-230, they're saying. The T's got the narrower sole, good turf interaction. They've both got the very nice squat head design. You could see the difference in the slight top lines, but they're aimed both of them at the better player. And both clubs have the tungsten toe and heel weighting to allow for that precision dialing in if needed. They're two really good players looking irons, packed with as much tech as you can kind of put in to head those shapes and sizes. No surprises when it comes to the price of the Blueprint. If we think about who they're aimed at, these people are going to be buying predominantly on brand stroke performance. There's not going to be many people trying to get, well, there'll be people trying to get bargains on this price, and you can see they're expensive, like they're a lot of money. But that's not who Ping are aiming this at. So again, I'm not defending the price. The price is, let me know what you think of prices of clubs, because they do seem a little off the scale. But these are not cheap. They're expensive, premium. They're world class. They're trying to be the best. So often with a brand that's trying to push itself out that way and it believes in its technology, it will price accordingly. As you would expect from Ping, numbers very, very true. Getting decent distances out of these irons, I was averaging around 172 with the T and the S. This pushed it on a little bit to 174. Little bit higher launching in the S to the T, like 1 degree, not much in it. Both spinning very, very similar, around 5.5 revs, 5,500 revs. Both 7 irons being hit in these tests. And what I liked from these 2 irons, from the numbers that I saw with the launches being so similar but helping a little bit, I think when you get to the longer irons where the launch comes down because obviously the loft's coming off the club, having that little bit more help from the S just gave you that idea of blending between T and S, was like, felt really seamless between these 2 clubs. Solid, true, good numbers from both of those Pings. So let's test this idea of precision. We're going to go TVS, and we've come to Valderrama to a very tough approach. 178.5 yards over the water, Valderrama, tough green. You wouldn't want this shot. This is the S, the slightly more gaming one to kick us off. Not the world's best strike, but should make it, hopefully. Yes, just, oh, precision. Can compete with that. I'd say more of a solid hit. And you can see it stayed straighter. Oh, just making it. And really what I want from these 2 clubs at this stage is, if the idea of blending is something you're interested in, I need these to be very, very close, like super similar. The fact that the more game improvement one in the S there kind of did well, how not great a strike it was. It's one shot, it's anecdotal, but it feels like, yeah, if I'm hitting a 7 iron, a 6 iron, a 5 iron, a 4 iron, whatever iron it is, where you're a little bit more wobbly with how you perform, going up that step to that little bit more help might give you that perception of security. So to give myself a little bit more leeway, what I'm going to do now is hit these a little harder. So they were hit kind of just within myself. I'm going to give that a bit more of a whack to give me that kind of plenty of carry over the wall and get it, push it more to the back. I mean, that's a career-y shot. What's going on? Same idea with T, bit more speed, so if there is a miss hit, we're hopefully not close to that water like we were on the first 2. Definitely the perception of help is in the other. The T here is like slender, which is its beauty, but also in situations like this where you're probably wanting a bit of help, it's a little bit more nerve-wracking. Backswing wasn't as full as I should have made it. It's a lower flight, but it's up there. I mean, look how close they are performing. For me, I wouldn't go past probably an 8 iron in T personally. I just don't see the point performance-wise unless you love the look of that so much. I think the S is pretty much where I would start to blend up. So it's not always just long irons, people. That's quite a toey hit with the S, and like, it feels, I want the S into this hole, like I just want the S. What do you think? Would you game and test them, and why? Which one do you like best? I love the look of this, I love the feel of both. I think the fact that we've now got 2 blueprints is really good, but I think you should definitely start thinking, if you're going to go this route, as a blend for performance, which that kind of shows you anecdotally a little bit as well. Let me know what you think. Pings, if you want to find out what their 10K driver does, this video will tell you what their 10K driver could do for you.